This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Cash reward. The province offers up to $150,000 for information about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan.
On the rise, rents in Halifax continue to climb, even as other Canadian cities see decreases.
And the quest for bargains amid high food prices.
Chance for showers, even a risk for a thunderstorm overnight into early Friday, then gradual clearing into the weekend. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening and welcome to our viewers in New Brunswick tonight. Here in Nova Scotia, the provincial government is offering a cash reward for information in the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan.
The young siblings went missing almost 7 weeks ago from their home in Lansdowne Station, a rural community in Pictou County. The Justice Department has added the children's disappearance to the Rewards for Major Crimes program. It offers up to $150,000 for tips depending on how valuable they are to the investigation.
RCMP have already received hundreds of tips about the case, but so far have not been able to locate the children. In an update last week, police said they've interviewed more than 50 people and administered a number of polygraph tests. Last fall, we brought you the story of temporary foreign workers who said they were underpaid and poorly treated in working retail jobs at Canadian Tire, allegations the store owner denies. The workers also told CBC they'd paid almost $8,000 each to another company to be placed in those positions. Now that company has been ordered to repay, but it says it will appeal. Shayna Locke reports.
Last fall, Roel Pailan told CBC how he came to Canada to work at a Canadian Tire, showing us evidence that his wages were cut to the point where he had trouble providing for his family. On top of this, he said he'd had to pay almost $8,000 to an Alberta company to get the position, borrowing from family to do it.
I have to ask my uncle again for help because, I don't have kind of money.
Investigations into what happened at the Canadian Tire are still underway. The store owner vehemently denies the allegations. But after Pailan complained to the Ontario Ministry of Labour about the money he paid to the Alberta company, an officer ruled he should get the money back. The officer investigated two companies, Allison Jones Consulting and AJ Immigration Group, and concluded they were working together and charged Pailan unlawful fees. The two companies have the same owner and operate from the same address in Alberta. But Allison Jones Consulting argued it was paid by Canadian Tire to do worker recruitment, while AJ Immigration says it was paid by workers for immigration services. Both services are legal on their own, but it isn't legal for a recruiter to charge a foreign worker for a job placement. The officer reviewed emails and websites and concluded the two companies were acting as a unified business.
Allison Jones sent me a statement saying she respectfully disagrees with the decision. She said she's appealing and both her businesses are distinct legal entities and that both comply with the law. She wrote, "We trust the appeal process and are committed to a fair and accurate resolution based on a complete review of the facts."
Some of Pailan's former co-workers complained too. His decision is one of 8 issued by Ontario against Allison Jones on the same day. In total, Jones's two companies were told to repay almost $165,000 Canadian dollars and were fined $2,000 more. A group that supported Pailan's case says the process requires vulnerable workers to come forward, a high barrier.
It's an expectation that they need to come forward rather than the province or the federal government taking steps to protect the interests of workers. And this is an affront to our entire system. This is disgusting.
Roel Pailan feels this is no joke to his life. He told me by phone he's happy about the decision, but he's worried an appeal might mean he'll never get his money back. Shayna Locke, CBC News, Halifax.
A Nova Scotia woman who murdered her 12-year-old daughter in 2008 has been granted unescorted day passes from prison. But the Parole Board of Canada denied Penny Boudreau's request for day parole, saying she wasn't ready to live in a community. Boudreau was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the death of Carissa Boudreau after pleading guilty to second-degree murder for strangling her only child. During a hearing on Wednesday, the board heard Boudreau had received treatment from a mental health team while working as an assistant to the prison's chaplain. But the panel also heard she is considered a high risk for entering into unhealthy, intimate relationships.
Rents for new apartment listings in Halifax continued to climb in May, even as other Canadian cities saw decreases from 2024. That's according to a recent report from two real estate firms. The CBC's Andrew Lamb reports.
Asking rents for new listings in Halifax were up 5% in May compared to last year. And according to consulting firm Urbanation and Rentals.ca, that's going against the trend in other Canadian cities. For months now, asking rents in places like Toronto and Vancouver have been consistently lower than they were the previous year.
So what's really happening in Halifax? It's climbing up our rental list of most expensive markets.
Nova Scotia was also the only province as of April that's seen an overall increase in its rent inflation rate from the previous 6 months. But one expert says there can be volatility in short-term data, and that there are signs the rental market in Halifax may be reaching a turning point with the pace of rent increases.
We're certainly seeing a rebalancing, let's say, where there is lower demand. We're starting to see some promising trends of apartments becoming more difficult to lease.
Lovett says it's the higher end and newer apartments like these where we're seeing things slow down. Lattice agrees with that trend and says there's higher vacancy now for new units.
That's why you're seeing some landlords offer a lot of incentives, such as 1 month free rent. If you visit rentals.ca and just type in Halifax, you're going to see a ton of movement incentives trying to get a renter to look at these beautiful one-bedroom apartments.
While there are signs the rental market in the province is improving, Lovett warns that a problem that stops getting worse is not the same as a problem solved.
There's a very significant challenge that remains, even if prices stop increasing entirely for a number of years, where a significant portion of the population now just simply cannot afford housing at current prices.
According to Urbanation and Rentals.ca, the average asking rent in May for two-bedroom apartments in Halifax was more than $2,600. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
And Ryan Snoddon with us now from the CBC Weather Center.
Yeah, a little bit of cloud, a little bit of fog, some drizzle.
Yeah, it was an unsettled day for sure, but a warm day. Certainly a muggy day. We were all feeling that. A few showers and rumbles of thunder primarily across northern New Brunswick. And again, welcome to our friends joining us there tonight. We are looking at, again, the high temperatures today. And you can see we were in the mid-20s for a good many of us. Cooler in the onshore winds, Bay of Fundy and along the Atlantic coastline. And as we look at the outlook for tomorrow, it's going to be a similar story. The onshore flow is going to keep temperatures cool in places like St. John and Yarmouth and along the Atlantic coastline. It'll be really dependent on your proximity to the coastline. Warmest temperatures are indeed going to be along that north shore and up into the northern parts of New Brunswick as well. And again, Sydney should be right around 24 degrees for tomorrow. Now, as we look at the outlook for Thursday night and in through Friday, we're going to see more of these scattered showers primarily across New Brunswick. That's going to be our better chance for a rumble of thunder as well. As we move into the weekend, it's a clearing trend, certainly for Saturday. We'll have your full weekend forecast in 7 days in just a couple of minutes.
Ears are perked up for that for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Ryan.
Thank you.
A patient advocate is calling for a retraction of a recent report on New Brunswick's mystery brain disease from a U.S. medical journal, which found no evidence of such a disease. But this advocate is alleging research and selection bias and is raising concerns about privacy breaches. Bobby Jean McKinnon reports.
An advocate for New Brunswick patients suffering from unusual neurological symptoms is calling for a recent report published in the Journal of the American Medical Association to be retracted. The study, led by neurologist Anthony Lang at the University Health Network in Toronto, found no evidence of a mystery brain disease in the province. But Catherine Lantang alleges research bias, selection bias, and privacy breaches.
So on all these principles, that study should be pulled voluntarily. Both research and ethics boards from UHN and from Horizon should request that the study be pulled, and both hospitals networks should be issuing an immediate apology to patients.
It's the latest development in the ongoing debate about whether there's a new mystery illness and the quest for answers about what's making people sick. For the JAMA report, researchers reassessed 25 of 222 patients diagnosed by Moncton neurologist Alier Marrero as having a neurological syndrome of unknown cause. They concluded all of the patients had well-known conditions like Alzheimer's, traumatic brain injury, and cancer. According to Lan Tang, some of the report's failings include that 5 of the authors failed to publicly disclose they had prior involvement with the New Brunswick cluster of patients, and that consent was waived for 9 of the patients, including one who had declined to be included.
It's highly unethical and highly problematic.
Stacey Quigley-Cormier of Dalhousie Junction says her 23-year-old stepdaughter Gabrielle is the patient whose data was included after she verbally refused.
He broke her trust and her privacy.
Dr. Marrero says he has many questions about the study's consent process and access to patients' files, including autopsy reports. UHN spokesperson Ana Fernandez did not respond directly to any of Lan Tang's allegations, but she says they're committed to the highest standards of scientific integrity, transparency, and ethical research, and it's not up to them whether a study gets published or retracted.
The YMCA is preparing to convert an old hardware store on Nova Scotia's eastern shore into a daycare. The Y is getting about $2 million from the province to do the renovation. The daycare will have 72 spaces for children aged 18 months to 4 years. Kent Smith, the MLA for the area, says the demand for childcare on the eastern shore was made clear to him when more than 300 people signed a petition this year for a new daycare centre.
I received over 100 emails and correspondence for people who were in need and people who couldn't return to the workforce because they didn't have any options for childcare.
The daycare spaces will be subsidized under the federal-provincial child care agreement. That program is aiming for an average daycare fee of $10 per day by next March.
The Nova Scotia government has contracted an Alberta company to help improve emergency alerting in the province through a new app. The Emergency Management Department awarded Alertable a $1 million contract in March. The company's mass notification software allows messages to be sent to a variety of social media platforms, as well as by text, message, phone call, and email. Some municipalities in the province, including the town of Digby and the town of Yarmouth, already use the company's software. There's been ongoing questions and concerns about emergency alerts in Nova Scotia in the face of recent natural disasters. Well, we all know costs are on the rise, and many Nova Scotians are working hard to make their dollars stretch.
A steady crowd turned up for the grand opening of the expanded Gateway Meat Market in Dartmouth to see what kind of deals could be had.
We wanted to make it larger to accommodate more people driving from away, which has really been increasing a lot lately. So the lineups are real. We're basically high volume, low profit. So we go on the search for bulk deals, for change of packaging, when gram size changes, things like that. So our suppliers know if they have things that they need to move quickly. We don't have a big hierarchy to go through to get things on our shelves.
It's quite festive and no one's getting angry or anything, so it's pretty pleasant. We feel we're part of something.
I don't know how much I saved, maybe a lot. My bill was $103. Savings $130, and I paid $105, and the other order too, I saved about $50. So I saved about $200 with my shopping today. It's great.
We come here about once every 2 weeks, especially now that it's summer and the little one's in the berry phase. So it's nice to have some fresh local berries to feed her little tummy.
We got meat for a whole month for our family. We still have 11 children living at home. We have 14 altogether. But yeah, this is meat for the whole month. This is what we do every month. My receipt says that I spent $679.32 and that I saved $559.68. It feels great. It does. We stopped buying our meat from grocery stores, other grocery stores, probably last year, and we started coming here every month. That means that we have $559.68 to spend on clothes or things that my family wants or needs because of the size of our family. Even though, my husband works, it's tough times. Absolutely.
Some busy times in Halifax Harbor with Fleet Week now underway. Ryan's back next with his full weather forecast. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
The weather update is brought to you by Tourisme Gaspésie. Plan your stay in Gaspésie at tourismegaspésie.com and enjoy extraordinary moments.
All right, your full weather forecast now, and we have some nice weather on the way, but we've got to get through some wet stuff, at least some of us do first.
Yes, and maybe a little rumble of thunder?
Yeah, certainly the risk for thunderstorms. The greatest risk is going to be in New Brunswick. And again, welcome to our friends joining us from that province tonight. So, of course, incorporate them into the forecast here. And that is indeed where we'll see the greatest risk for a thunderstorm. Friday, particularly there. Now, for Nova Scotia, we'll see a slight risk and generally more of a clear out through Friday, where New Brunswick will be waiting till Friday night into Saturday. Let's first talk about those high temperatures again today. In case you missed it earlier, there's 27 at in Sydney today, 27 in Miramichi. Still very mild at this hour. And again, the mugginess has certainly been a factor today. Those dew points have been up in the high teens, low 20s. And so it's been feeling a lot like summer today. And yeah, even though the clouds have certainly been fairly dominant for a good portion of us for today, a couple of sun breaks in there. Now, as we back things out, there's the frontal boundary. And that is really dividing the warm, the muggy air, the summer-like air, which has, again, been surging up the eastern seaboard, and that drier, cooler air, cooler for this time of year, is on the backside of this. And this is what we are going to tap into as this low does swing through over the next couple of days. And around this low, because of the temperature contrast, we are going to be seeing some fairly gusty winds with this as well, especially across Nova Scotia and into Cape Breton in particular. Now for tonight, it is going to be winds near 20 with some gusts 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. And yeah, temperatures are going to be in generally the 14 to 17, 18 degree range. Couple of spots that'll be milder than that. The winds will be generally light for New Brunswick, but a little stronger across Nova Scotia, especially along the Atlantic coastline. We'll see some drizzle, those fog patches rolling inland for Nova Scotia. Scattered showers and the risk for thunderstorms primarily across northern New Brunswick. And then for Friday, again, the clouds are certainly going to be stubborn to start the day, but I do think we'll start to see that sunshine mixing in across Nova Scotia. A mix of sun and cloud developing here. Could see some sunshine breaking through across southeast New Brunswick for you folks here, but a lot more active in New Brunswick into Friday afternoon. Scattered showers, the risk for thunderstorms developing here, not only for Friday afternoon, but into Friday evening around the center of this low, whereas you can see Nova Scotia with a pretty nice clear out into the afternoon here. An isolated risk for a shower late afternoon for the west. And for Nova Scotia, it is going to be a scattered risk for a shower or rumble of thunder Friday night into the wee morning hours of Saturday on the south side of that low as it does spin through. And we'll pick up that part of the story in just a second. Temperatures across northern New Brunswick tomorrow will be into the 20 to 23 range, and in the south, a similar story, but we will see cooler temperatures, Grand Manan and into St. John and along that Fundy coastline. Cooler onshore winds for Cape Breton as well, but with that sunshine breaking through, temperatures are looking set to be quite warm tomorrow. Should be 26 to 28 degrees across Inverness and Victoria counties tomorrow. Again, a bit cooler in those onshore winds, Port Hawkesbury, but just down the road, even inland there, could crack 24, 25 degrees. Antigonish near 27 tomorrow, as well as New Glasgow and Tatamagouche and back towards Truro and around Cobequid Bay. It's going to be a really, really nice day as that fog retreats and the sunshine comes out. Metro area, Halifax, much cooler along the coast, but should get into the 22, 23 range inland. And a similar story in the south and west. Cool in the onshore winds, get inland, and we're going to find some very toasty temps, especially into the valley. Now for Saturday, a beautiful day, lots of sunshine, a bit more cloud towards the north and east, and an onshore wind, this little blob of green here, that indicating those cooler temps for Inverness County in those onshore winds. And that's because as that low departs, that wind is going to be from the west to northwest, really rifling in there off the Gulf. And so, yes, that will keep temperatures cooler there, but a lot of sunshine. Still a lot of uncertainty for Sunday. This is the European model. It is the most bullish with this system, bringing it in with showers and clouds, but the Canadian and American models much lighter on the shower activity and more confined to the southwest of the Maritimes. So uncertainty there. We'll hope that it is on the lighter side for the showers, but certainly a risk into the afternoon. Note those temperatures for New Brunswick near 30 by Tuesday, and a similar story for Nova Scotia, with temperatures really warming up as we work our way into the Tuesday timeframe of next week, where we'll probably flirt with 30 in a couple of backyards across Nova Scotia as well. Tom and Amy.
Yeah, starting to get up there for sure.
Sure is.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, more than 50 performers will hit the stage at Centre 200 in Sydney tonight.
They will be there to honor Bruce Guthrow, the Rankin family, and Donnie Campbell, who are being inducted into the Cape Breton Music Hall of Fame. Kyle Moore gives us this preview.
It was an emotional afternoon, even during rehearsals, as Jody and Dylan Guthrow took the stage. Their late father, Bruce, is one of the inductees into the Cape Breton Music Hall of Fame.
I feel like he flew the Cape Breton flag everywhere he went, around the world playing. So I think, myself, Jody, and our mom, Kim, are just honored to accept the award.
The dimming lamp of day leaves the crimson foeman spray.
Bruce Guthrow died following a battle with cancer about a year and a half ago.
Honestly, for me, every day is hard without him. I miss him every day, and today I feel joy.
The station master looked all around.
One of Cape Breton's favorite families will also be inducted.
Cape Breton is important to us, and the fact that all of our peers in the business are coming together to show respect for what we were able to accomplish in the past is a great compliment.
Heather Rankin says she will be thinking of time spent on the road over the years with her family.
Raylene and John Morris are no longer here, and they were involved long before I was because they were the older members of the family, and they really, paved the road for me.
Organizers say the production is one of a kind, bringing together some of the island's finest musicians to honor the inductees.
The musical legacy of Cape Breton goes back hundreds of years. And, we're a well-known area for our music, and we think that it's important to memorialize that, but at the same time to reinvest in the next generation of musicians so that we have another couple of 100 years of musical legacy.
This is the third year for the Hall of Fame. Previously, inductees included Rita McNeil, Matt Minglewood, John Allen Cameron, Winston Scotty Fitzgerald, the Men of the Deeps, and Joella Folds.
Donnie Campbell, the host of Celtic Serenade, has been one of the largest, the biggest and most long-lasting promoters and journalists and historians and fans of Cape Breton music, in addition to being a successful performer himself.
More than 1,400 tickets have been sold, almost tripling last year's ticket sales. The show starts at 7. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Coming up, the latest report from the Port of Halifax says both imports and exports were up last quarter. There have been some busy days of late at the Port of Halifax. Amid uncertainty around tariffs, first quarter exports are up 13%, while imports are up as well, almost 24%. Paul McIsaac is with the Halifax Port Authority. Sir, it seems we've been talking trade and tariffs for quite a while now. What are you seeing at the port in terms of changes in imports and exports in this trade era that we seem to be living in now?
Well, as you can appreciate, Tom, these topics are on everybody's mind currently, and we've seen a little bit of transition during the year at the port. Early in the year, our numbers were actually stronger than we anticipated. We believe that has a lot to do with importers trying to get ahead of the potential tariffs as they were first announced in November, leading up to when they came into effect in February. So we had actually a fairly strong first quarter. Having said that, we saw some softening in April, and numbers are starting to steady out again.
So what are you seeing in terms of what kind of cargo, where it's coming from? What can you say about those kind of trade patterns from your vantage point there at the port?
Well, in terms of where it's coming from, we're not seeing much change from prior years, Tom. Halifax is one of the most connected ports in Canada. We reach a number of markets in Europe, in the Indian subcontinent, the Middle East, et cetera. So we're seeing cargo continue to come to and from those locations.
And what are you seeing vis-a-vis China? Are you seeing an influx or increase in goods leaving Halifax for China?
Pretty consistent with what we've had in prior years, Tom. China is one of our top trading partners, so we're not seeing much change there.
We're seeing what looks like a growing number of containers piled up at the port, and I know they're being moved as quickly as they can. And maybe that's sort of relates to what you're saying about earlier in the first quarter. But how are you managing this increased business?
Today, we're managing it quite well. Halifax is known for its reliability and fluidity of the gateway, and that had some challenges earlier in the year in terms of our dwell time. But our dwell times now are back within our traditional norm of less than 3 days. Some of the boxes that you see piled up are actually empties, so they're there for a reason as opposed to waiting for other purposes.
Okay, and I know that the Port of Montreal was reporting numbers this week as well, and they're seeing huge jumps in shipments, particularly to China. How much do you think the U.S. tariffs and the trade tensions, maybe at least in the short term, changing the trade of flow, and what do you expect?
Well, if we knew the answer to that, we'd be in a great place. We've just come back from a trip where we've talked to a number of different shipping lines, asking them what their thoughts were in the future, and they're all basically saying kind of, who knows? Unfortunately, the global trade lens seems to change on a weekly basis and not a daily basis. So people are really playing a wait and see game to see what might happen.
But is there a feeling that it might be good for the Port of Halifax, or is it troubling? Is it concerning? What is the mood there in the operational side of things?
The mood is generally positive. It could be good. It really depends. We don't know exactly what the U.S. administration may do, particularly as it relates to additional fees on certain ships, or try to apply the harbor maintenance tax broader than it currently is applied, et cetera. So really what it's done is it's kind of forced folks to kind of live in the moment and not plan too far in advance.
I see the cruise ship in the picture behind you there. Quickly, before I let you go, I'm reading that the cruise ship season is expanding. I gather this will be the longest cruise season perhaps ever in Halifax. What do you attribute that kind of business to?
Well, Halifax is a terrific destination. It's highly reviewed by the people that come here. A lot of people repeat. It's what we consider a marquee destination on the Cruise Canada New England itinerary. 90% of all ships that come to Atlantic Canada for cruise stop in Halifax. So that's I guess really a result of everything that happens within the destination, and really it's attributable, I believe, to our continued focus on sustainable cruise.
All right, well, we'll see how the cruise ships do, and we'll keep an eye on that trade question as well. Paul McIsaac with the Halifax Port Authority. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Coming up, with missiles firing from both sides, the conflict between Israel and Iran shows no signs of letting up.
And long-term low-income tenants at a New Brunswick motel are left with no water or electricity after a surprise eviction. Welcome back. Israeli health officials say more than 200 people were injured in Iranian missile attacks.
Residential buildings near Tel Aviv and a hospital in southern Israel were struck overnight. The hospital's director said damage to the building was extensive.
As a result of this hit, fire broke out in this building. Several wards were completely demolished, and there is extensive damage across the entire hospital, with damage to buildings, structures, windows, ceilings, across the medical center.
Israel says it hit some more nuclear sites inside Iran. Days of Israeli strikes have wiped out Iran's top military command, damaged nuclear facilities, and killed hundreds of people, including civilians.
In Israel, at least 24 people have been killed and hundreds wounded by Tehran's missile and drone attacks. Meantime, U.S. President Donald Trump says he will make a decision within 2 weeks on whether to attack Iran.
Ottawa is working to set up evacuation flights for Canadians trying to flee Iran and Israel as fighting between the two countries intensifies. But with airspace closed in that region, anyone trying to fly out has to get to neighboring countries first. As the CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian reports, that's a challenge of its own.
This Canadian couple was looking to make unforgettable memories in Iran. Our wedding was going to be tonight, she said. Their romantic getaway became a run for their lives. Fleeing a country at war with Israel like thousands of others, they were lucky enough to make it to Armenia. We will wait and then we will return to Iran to get married, he said. You may have to be very patient. Israel and Iran have been exchanging missile fire for a week. Airspace shut down in both. Ottawa is urging Canadians in the region to get out, booking commercial flights out of neighboring countries, Armenia or Turkey to Iran's north, Jordan to the east of Israel and the West Bank.
We came down, obviously, to visit family. On my wife's side, we've got a very large family here that we're very, very close with. And it's just been so long. It's been such a hard time.
This Toronto man has decided to bide his time instead. He's booked a flight back out of Israel, waiting for its airport to reopen.
We've had to take shelter many times. You get an alarm to your phone, and then about 2 minutes later, you get another one that kind of tells you what areas. And if it's in your area, you hear the siren, you got to book it to the safe room.
The federal government says it's doing all it can to help.
We strongly encourage all Canadians in the region to ensure that they are registered with Global Affairs, and I am working 24/7 around the clock to ensure that Canadian interests are protected and that they are able to leave. If they wish to stay, we are urging everyone to shelter in place.
For now, the Israeli government says it expects to reopen its airspace by next Monday, but there is no sense of how much longer hostilities could last as more than 10,000 Canadians remain in the region. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced Canada will hike tariffs on American steel and aluminum imports if no trade deal is reached in a month's time.
We must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses from the unjust U.S. tariffs that exist at present.
The new federal program includes a quota on foreign steel. Carney said counter tariffs will be adjusted on July 21st, depending on the progress of negotiations with the U.S. The announcement comes after the U.S. president doubled the tariff rate on steel and aluminum from 25% to 50% earlier this month. At the time, Carney withheld matching the rate spike, given talks were ongoing to free Canada from Trump's tariffs. The two leaders agreed to try and reach some sort of trade deal within 30 days at the G7 summit in Alberta this week.
Hurricane Eric made landfall in Mexico's southern Pacific coast early Thursday. This was the scene as the Category 3 storm landed around sunrise local time. It crashed into Mexico's southern state of Oaxaca, and with heavy rain and winds up to 200 kilometers per hour, officials warned some areas could see flash floods and mudslides. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says Eric is expected to weaken rapidly over the coastal mountains of southern Mexico and likely dissipate late Thursday or early Friday.
A test launch by Elon Musk's SpaceX ended in an explosion Wednesday night in Texas. The company says the Starship 36 rocket experienced a major anomaly during its 10th flight test. There are no reports of injuries, and the launch site is located at the southern tip of Texas. Musk's space and satellite company, which has billions of dollars in government contracts, has come under new scrutiny. It follows the public rift between the U.S. billionaire and Donald Trump.
Dozens of tenants of a low-income housing building near Fredericton are on a desperate search for a new place to live. New Brunswick's Department of Justice and Public Safety had the electricity shut off on Friday after the property owner failed to comply with significant safety concerns. The CBC's Alison McCormick reports.
The Airport Inn near Fredericton has 25 low-income housing units, and it's shutting down. The building recently had its power and water shut off, but with a lack of affordable housing options, very few of the more than 24 tenants here have managed to pack up and leave.
We didn't have no notice, no nothing, no forewarned, but she was forewarned long before this problem ever came up. Now we're sitting here, no power, no water, trying to flush our toilets. Some of them have diabetes, some of them have walking problems, some of them have circular problems. Some of them are still in the hospital and don't even know about this.
So they just turned off the water and turned off the electricity. So we have nothing. We have nothing here. We're going around trying to keep our phones charged or whatever, to make sure that we'll be able to phone places. But I've asked different ones and nobody's found anything yet.
This really highlights the fact that we have nothing for emergencies. We have no emergency housing available in this province. I don't know what they're going to do, actually. It's really a difficult situation. I wish we had some kind of emergency housing, but right now there isn't any kind of, at least at the provincial level, nothing like that. The only thing are homeless shelters.
Ying Chung Soo has owned the Airport Inn for 22 years and said many of her tenants have been with her for more than a decade. She said the whole situation has left her feeling helpless. But with a long list of repairs ordered by the province in order to comply, she said she'll likely tear the building down or sell it as is.
That's CBC's Alison McCormick reporting from Lincoln, New Brunswick.
New Brunswick timber companies are concerned land could be taken away if a Wolastoqey title claim succeeds. J.D. Irving, one of the 3 companies in court this week, is fighting to have its forestry parcels removed from the claim. The CBC's Rachel Cave reports.
A New Brunswick Court of Appeal is wrestling with the question of whether a First Nation can seek Indigenous title to privately owned land. The Wolastoqey say it is their constitutional right to ask for the return of land now owned by forestry companies. The Wolastoqey claim is mammoth in size. They are seeking a declaration of title over an area that is more than half the size of New Brunswick, and that includes hundreds of thousands of hectares owned by forestry giant J.D. Irving. Now, one of the reasons this case is now before the Court of Appeal is because a lower court ruled the Wolastoqey can only sue the Crown over land they say they never surrendered. At this hearing, lawyers for private landowners JDI, H.J. Crabb, and Acadian Timber have argued that a declaration of title will impact their private interests. They're worried their land could be taken away or the Wolastoqey could be granted the power to decide how the land is used. JDI has asked that its forestry parcels be removed from the claim. The Wolastoqey say they want that land returned, and if it cannot be returned, they want compensation through the Crown. Now, this is just one stage of litigation that is expected to take years or even decades to resolve. The lawyer for the Wolastoqey expects this case will end up in Canada's highest court.
That report from the CBC's Rachel Cave.
A joint Canadian-British investigation is now complete into a cyber hack at the DNA testing company 23andMe. Officials from both countries say the company failed to protect its customers' data. And as Jamie Strachan reports, Canada's privacy watchdog is now demanding better safeguards.
Unbelievable. No one has wanted a big sister. You angel?
23andMe promised people a chance to discover their roots, more about who they are through DNA testing. Kirsty Miller was one of them.
There was a pretty big piece of mine on my father's side that was missing.
For millions of customers, including more than 300,000 in Canada, it came with an added cost. Their personal information was compromised in a data breach in 2023.
The compromised data included highly sensitive information related to health, race, and ethnicity information.
Now, a joint investigation by Canada and the UK has found the company failed to take basic steps to protect that information and ignored warning signs before the hack.
The stolen data was later offered for sale online, putting the personal information of affected individuals at further risk.
While the UK has fined the company $4 million for failing to protect customers' data, Canadian officials don't have that power.
Unfortunately, Canadian privacy law does not yet provide this to me. I will continue to use all the tools that I have, but I need more and better ones.
Miller says she doesn't know if her information was part of the breach, but will be deleting her account anyways.
That isn't just DNA. It's not just a spit in a tube. It's like who I am as a person and my livelihood and my roots.
23andMe has since declared bankruptcy after settling a $30 million U.S. class action suit. It is now attempting to reorganize as a nonprofit headed by the company's old CEO with a promise to do better. But given what's happened, this privacy expert warns those thinking of signing up.
The simple word here is don't. It's simply too much of a risk for fairly limited return.
He says every time you sign up for a new service or app, ask what data is being collected and what protections are in place. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
The U.S. trade war is giving the Canadian wine industry a reason to raise a glass. Homegrown vintages are seeing a boost in sales from the Buy Canadian movement. As Nisha Patel reports for American exporters, it is a case of sour grapes.
Forget California reds, Canadian shoppers are making a switch.
Now that the American wines are off the shelves, I'm finding myself in the Ontario section a little bit more.
U.S. wine imports fell more than 90% in April as provincial governments took American products off store shelves in the face of the trade war.
Buy local is very real. We're seeing it in Nova Scotia. We're seeing it in British Columbia.
The boycott is giving Canadian producers a boost. The Liquor Control Board of Ontario says sales of wine made with Ontario grapes have jumped more than 60%.
I like seeing that little Canadian sticker on all my products now.
I think we're just more willing to put money back into our own economy.
So it's Riesling, Chardonnay, and Pinot.
That's keeping spirits high at Flat Rock Cellars, which is having one of its best sales years ever.
They've gone up, probably 30, 40, 50% over the months since the tariffs kicked in.
They released their awards.
Manager Jacob Glantz says he also expects the winery to get a boost from tourists this summer.
And they're realizing, holy moly, we actually make some really great world-class wines here in Ontario, and they might not go back.
Ontario plans to continue its ban, though Alberta and Saskatchewan say they will start selling American booze again. Wine sellers hope the change in buying behavior is permanent.
I've heard from people that, they really want to stick with local wine even after. So I think regardless of what kind of happens in the future, I don't think we're going back to the way things were.
Provincial governments are also working with Ottawa, trying to break down interprovincial trade barriers to make it easier for producers to sell their wines across the country. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index ended lower today despite strength in energy stocks as the price of oil moved higher amid growing worries the fight between Israel and Iran will escalate. U.S. markets were closed for the Juneteenth holiday. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to commercial break.
The weather update is brought to you by Tourisme Gaspésie. Plan your stay in Gaspésie at tourismegaspésie.com and enjoy extraordinary moments.
All right, we're getting through the wet stuff. A little drizzle in some parts of Halifax.
Yeah, not terribly pleasant.
No. My wife reporting that it is heavy drizzling in the soccer pitch in my neck of the woods. So, yeah, there's.
You accurately warned her.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yes, so drizzle on the go in and around the metro area right now. And showers, risk for thunderstorms across New Brunswick for tonight. Again, you folks there joining us for this evening. But let's have a look at our viewer picture of the day first and foremost, because it is a lovely one. Yeah, we're going to Cape Breton tonight. And this one, Marguerite Harbor.
No drizzle there.
Wow.
A little fog maybe in the distance. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fog.
What a spot, though.
Yeah, beautiful colors.
Francis, always with the fantastic pictures. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Okay, so for tomorrow, we're looking at the showers, risk for thunderstorms in New Brunswick. For Nova Scotia, it's a sluggish start with clouds, drizzle, fog patches. Those fog patches retreating, the drizzle wrapping up, and then we're looking at some sun and cloud breaking through, particularly for northern areas of Nova Scotia. That's where we'll see the skies being brightest, and that's where temperatures will be warmest. Onshore winds are going to keep temperatures cool, and note those winds will be gusting to 50 kilometers per hour across Nova Scotia tomorrow, 30 to 40 gusts in through New Brunswick. Now for Saturday, beautiful day, lots of sunshine, temperatures low to edging up towards the mid-20s. We're going to be seeing cooler onshore winds for Cape Breton. So the Inverness County area will likely be only around 14 to 15 in those onshore winds there. And then we're watching that next system starting to approach for Sunday. But it does look like it's going to clear out nicely. So we'll enjoy Saturday for sure.
Absolutely.
We sure will. Okay, thanks, Ryan. A couple of homesteaders in Cocan, New Brunswick, are celebrating the recapture of one very slippery piglet.
Porky! Pig!
The little guy's name is Porky Poppins, and homesteader
course.
Tiffany Demons, says the escape happened 2 weeks ago as they were unloading six piglets from a truck.
She says the crafty animal has been coming out of the woods behind their home 3 times a day to eat the meals they put out, but has been impossible to catch. Neighbors were even dropping by to help.
They finally caught the piglet late Tuesday afternoon, luring him into a live trap with a bucket of sweet snacks. Porky is now back with his siblings in the homestead pig pen.
Hard
Quite
to
an
resist
adventure.
the snacks, huh?
Yeah.
That's it for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.